this is exactly, Shelley, what you're talking about is exactly what we were getting at with, we have different aspects. We don't have just the one. And different situations will bring out the aspects of us that this conflict is pushing our buttons for, right? So the things that we're sensitive about, or the things that, so it's different feelings that come up because it's different underlying needs that come up, right? And so the reference to, this is the story of man's search for meaning, which we've spoken about before. I don't know if I've ever spoken with you guys about it. It's Viktor Frankl was a psychotherapist in Austria before the Second World War. He was also Jewish, and he was imprisoned in a concentration camp for 4 years. And during that time, he came up with this manuscript, and he wrote it after he got out. He survived, which was extraordinary because he wasn't physically particularly able. And the point in the context of this conflict resolution is that the relevance is that we are often in horrible situations. We are often faced with incredibly difficult circumstances. We are often called upon to suffer. In those circumstances, all that we have is our reaction to the predicament that we're in, right? So this situation. And so it's all about how life is self-determined to the extent that we cannot control what goes on around us, but we can control how it affects us and what we put back in response to it. And those are the only things that we can control. And so by doing this particular exercise in finding out from the Thomas Kilmann model, conflict mode instrument, what kind of person in conflict we are, it's not an absolute. It doesn't mean that every single time we're in conflict we're going to react the same way. But it gives us an insight into something like, oh, so maybe I am an accommodator. Maybe I am more of a competitor or a collaborator. Did you get a chance to finish, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
So you know what you are?
Yes.
Okay. And was it surprising for you?
Not really. I mean, I was a compromiser. Compromising next followed by avoidance, which really did not surprise me one bit.
Really?
No, not at all.
Okay.
But I think, again, as you were saying, I didn't answer it as if I were an attorney on a litigation case, because then I would not be any of those things. I would be not doing my job otherwise.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why that's why we learn tools, that's why we learn skills, so that we can take them out of our bag in any given situation. As an attorney, it would be inappropriate to be yourself because you're advocating on behalf of somebody else. You have somebody else's interests at heart. What happens when it's our own interests, right? When it's our own needs that we're trying to express, our own feelings that we're trying to express, often that's where the tension will come up, the conflict, right? So I'm going to do a demo right now. Because now that we've figured out a little bit about how we are in conflict, like how the other person might see us in conflict. Okay, this person is an avoider. This person just doesn't want to hear me right now. Okay, we're going to try to see whether or not we can feel the other person, their perspective on it, right? So this is the next kind of step, that we understand ourselves, we understand where we're coming from. What is the other person? What's going on with the other person? And so there's this exercise that I was taught, where you have 3 types of active listening, three ways of listening to what's being said to you, right? The first aspect is to listen to it as it relates to yourself. So what we just did, I'm in a conflict and I'm hearing this as it relates to me. This person accusing me of this means this to me. It makes me feel this way, okay? It reminds me of this. This is position 1, okay? This is me as I'm listening to things as myself. And then we have position 2, where we are the person that we're in conflict with, and we are hearing things as they are hearing them, what it means to them. So we're standing in their shoes. We're empathizing with them, right? So first we were subjective, consciously subjective. I am aware that I'm hearing this only as it relates to me. Here, I am hearing this as this person is feeling it. I'm standing in his shoes, all right? And then we have position 3. Position 3 is the environment. It's hearing what's going on between these two people as it relates to the environment. So the meta view. I like to call it the forest, right? So we have tree, forest. If you're standing here, you understand what it means for the whole relationship. And you're listening for what the relationship needs. Okay? So, I hate it when you leave the dishes overnight. I cannot stand being nagged about the dishes overnight. There is a problem with communication, with how tasks get achieved in this household, meta. And it is affecting the relationship. Okay? Right. Then we stand again, having figured out what the 3 positions are, back in position 1, but with our new perspective. What is our new perspective? What might it be?
Well, you understand the other person doesn't want to be mad.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's the way you're saying it.
Okay, so maybe it's the way you're saying it. Okay, so because you're arguing about different things.
Right.
Yeah.
You want something to get done, you want to be treated a certain way. The relationship, in order to work, needs for both set of needs to get met, which doesn't necessarily mean anybody compromising anything. It just means this person might need to express themselves differently. This person might need to be more responsive to this person's needs. And the relationship might improve. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, okay.